we start like a little extra credit. So we're going to start with Hilchos Yesodei HaTorah, when we started on Ashana Rabbah. So we continue on chapter 1 and Halacha 4. So just to remind us, it's a chapter, like as it says, laws of foundation of the Torah. Okay. So we're up to Halacha number 4. I think in order to go to Halacha number 4, we need to review quickly, just to read even the text, what we said Halacha number 3. And it says, if one would imagine that none of the entities aside from him, meaning Hashem, exist, he alone will continue to exist. And the nullification of their existence would not nullify his existence, because all of the other entities require him, and he, blessed be he, does not require them, nor any one of them. Therefore, the truth of his being not resemble the truth of any other beings. Okay, so that's what we said. We're not going to repeat what we said last time. We spent a considerable amount of time, Baruch Hashem, very, very productive. So, and we continue with Halacha number 4. This is implying a prophet's statement, Yirmiyahu 10:10, and God your Lord is true. Amos, right? There is alone, he alone is true, and no other entity possesses truth that compares to his truth. Okay, so of course it requires explanation. This is what is meant by the Torah statement in Dvarim 4:35. There is nothing else aside him. Right? There is aside from him, meaning him, Hashem, there is no true existence like his. Okay, so sounds a little difficult, but let's do sentence by sentence. And we have a commentary, and some of them from Likutei Sichos. Right, so meaning it's from Chabad, but it's from the days, not from the current Chabad, but from original foundation of Chabad, which of course we know is absolutely kosher and holy. All right, so let's start. But so how could they corrupt these teachings? That's very interesting, very sad. Oh, sorry. Okay, so from the beginning and with commentaries. This is implied by the prophet. So meaning Hashem does not need anybody. Right? He's perfect without anybody. That's a continuation. Right? This is implied the prophet's the prophet's statement, and God Lord is true. Commentary. The commentaries note that in the Jerusalem Talmud, Brachas 1:5 cites the verse which asks what is true, and replies that He is living God, the King of the world. Right? Hashem Elokeich Memes. So what does it mean? That He is a living God and King of the world. Right? So this right right, it's Va Hashem Elokim Emes. Okay. So that's I mean that's what we say in Marif. Okay, no problem. Okay, so meaning, what is true? That Hashem is a living God and He is the King of the world. Okay, there is He alone is true, and other entity possesses truth that compare, and no other entities possesses such truth that compare to His truth. So meaning, it's hard to understand, right? If it's true, it is true, right? But Hashem has some kind of truth that that others don't have. What does it mean? Let's see the commentary. For the original and absolute state of non-being, and the true truth of their existence possesses, is dependent on a physical manifestation of their being, their existence. Sorry, one more time. For their original and absolute state of being, non-being, for their original and absolute state is non-being. Okay. And the truth of their existence possesses is dependent on physical manifestation of their existence. So meaning their existence, if they physically exist, if we can confirm by 5 senses, then they exist. If not, they not exist. So meaning their existence is not on the level of Hashem. That's what it means. Right. So meaning Hashem exists is always true, but in to simplify, right? Hashem existence is always true, but their existence is not. It depended on their physical presence. If you can write in simple words. This is what it meant by Torah's statement, Dvarim 4:35. There is nothing else besides Him. And Od Milvadoi, right? Some people write on their profiles in Od Milvadoi, right? I would not write it. It's right, okay. I mean, it's not because it is true, but it's when you say something. I mean, the same in my profile, I guess, also, right? When we say that 99% of truth is 100% lie, right? It depends a lot, right? Okay. and Od Milvadoi. So this is from where? It's from Dvarim 4:35. Right. So there is nothing else aside Him. There is, aside from Him, there is no existence like His. So, but on a simple level, and that's what we learn in right. We're trying to expand upon this idea in our series bitachon. That Hashem is running the world, and there is no other power besides Him. Of course, He camouflaged Himself in different circumstances and whatever happened to us, different people. But it's all Him. It's all Him. And if we only can take it into our heart and our mind that it's only Hashem, the life would be much easier, right? And Od Milvado. Right, but it's on a simple level. But here Rambam explains a little deeper, and it says so aside from Him there is no true existence like His. So on this we have come into it. On the obvious level, Rambam has stated that God is only absolute existence, and no other entity exists in a similar. Okay. There is also deeper dimension of Rambam's statement. From the statement, aside from Him, there is no true existence, one can conclude that with Him, there is a true existence. When a Jew lives according to the Torah, he establishes unity with God that allows his existence to take on truth and meaning stemming from that God's Himself. Okay. So let's so it's from Likutei Sichos, volume 24. So let's see from the beginning, and we try to understand. So this commentary on the obvious level, the Rambam has stated, right? The Rambam has said that God is only absolute existence, right, and no other entity exists similar to Him. So as we explained, that's that simple level. So Hashem always exists, and other depends on their physical presence. Okay, so that's simple level. There is also deeper dimension of Rambam's statement. From the statement, aside from Him, there is no true existence, meaning with Him, right, there is existence. Aside from Him, there is no existence, right? One can conclude that with Him, there is a true existence, right? But without Him, there is no existence. Okay, of course, we're going to go a little deeper, right? When a Jew lives according to the Torah, so meaning according to the Torah, he lives with unity with God. So what is Torah? Torah is laws of Hashem, right? In a simple terms that he dictates to human being how to connect to Him. That's it, right? As we said many times, the more observant person is, right, the more true he or she to the observance of the Torah, the closer they to Hashem. Meaning that's the unity us with Hashem, right? So meaning our existence, it's only due to Torah. Okay. Unity that allows His existence, right? Meaning a person to take truth in the meaning stemming from that of Hashem Himself, right? Okay. So All right, so let's stop here. So we continue with Hilchos Yesodei HaTorah in chapter 1, and we on halacha number 5. And it says, the unity, the entity, is the God of the world and the Lord and the entire earth. He controls the sphere with infinite and unbound power. This power continues without interruption, because the sphere is constantly revolving, and it is impossible for it to revolve without being caused to revolve. It is He, blessed be He, who caused it to revolve without hand or any other corporeal dimension. Okay, so let's do from the beginning, and you see we're going deeper and deeper, Baruch Hashem. So yeah, so from the beginning. So now we're talking about the creation, not creation, the existence of this world and in the universe, and how Hashem runs the world. Of course, we're not going to go on a deep level. A deep level is beyond our imagination, but on some level, we all, as the Rambam said many times, we're obligated to go and learn Torah on a level that we can comprehend. Right, 5 years old on his level, on 35 years old on his level, or Hilchos. Okay, so let's see. So again, from the beginning, I try to understand. This entity is the God of the world, right? That can exist without anybody, but does not need anybody. Okay, and He's in His truth. Okay, this entity is the God of the world and Lord of the entire earth. So of course we'll need to know why there are two word dimensions. Okay, so number 14. Radbas, volume 6, response to 21. Expanded expression, God of the world and the Lord of the entire earth, right? As we would assume, like very, very clear, like close by meaning sentences, right? Refer to two different levels, of course. If Rambam said something, it's not repetitive. God of the world refers to His relationship with all aspects of the existence on the both higher and lower planes, and in particular to men who can consciously acknowledge His being. Lord of the entire earth describes His dominion over material existence, thus negating the belief that even though He creates the world, He abandoned it to control of the laws of nature. By stating the entire earth, the Rambam implies that divine providence controls every facet of the worldly existence. All right. Okay. So let's do from the beginning. So Radbas explains that the experience of God of the world, right, and the Lord of the earth, in the entire earth, refers to two different levels. So God of the world and Lord of the earth. So what does it mean? Okay, two different levels. So God of the world, so the first one, refers to His relationship with all aspects of existence on both high and lower planes. So meaning the relationship between the higher and lower plane. The higher plane is angels, right, as we know. Right, and lower plane is human, I guess. Existence, actually, in existence, it's not only humans, but animal, vegetation, I guess, also exist. And in particular to men, right? So men meaning because Hashem's main point, right? On one hand, existence is when I talk existence is all of the living being, right? Even animal, even vegetation, on one hand. But on another hand, right, the whole creation was for the sake of man, right? So right, in particular to man who can consciously acknowledge his being. So meaning the animals would not be able to acknowledge his being, and that's why it's not obligated for animals to pray or pray, right, to pray or praise Hashem. right? But when animal eats and does not say thank you, right, or you're welcome or something, that there's no problem. But when a person eats and does not say thank you, that's the issue, right? So meaning because Hashem gave person much more intellect than animal, right? And that's why, even though they're also creation, they're beings, but much less expected of them, and much more expected of person. Okay. So that's relationship of God of the world. Right, so God of the world, again, quickly, refers to his relationship to all aspects of existence, as we explained, human and vegetation, animal, on both a higher level and lower level, meaning angels and existence in this world, and in particular to man, right, who can consciously acknowledge his being. Right, of course, angels also can acknowledge his being, but that's a different story. About angels, I think it's going to be like a separate chapter. Why do we need that? Why do we need them? And not us, but why Hashem needs them and what their job? Okay. Lord of the entire earth describes his dominion over the material existence, thus negating the belief that even though he created the world, he abandoned it to the control of the laws of nature. And actually, that's in olden days, it was a common belief among the whole philosophers and other people, because they were like forced, in a sense, to acknowledge that there is a creator of the world, right? But Greeks, Romans, all of this cultures, right? So they acknowledge that there is a creator, but to get rid of him, and meaning that there is no rules. So even if there is a creator, right, still exists, right? If he still rules the world, so that we have to follow his instruction. Otherwise, if he's not there, so nobody's going to work. I remember in my office, everybody's professional, everybody getting paid good salary, but when there is no boss. No bosses at all. I think it was like several times of a conference where all of the management went away, so nobody worked. It's unbelievable. Of course, we pick up the phone and stuff like that, but hardly anybody works, unfortunately. Right? Because why? There is no supervision. So I mean, and we're adults. Right? I'm not talking about kids, right? When there is no teacher, right? I'm talking about adults also, right? And so meaning there is no rule, there is nobody watching you. So meaning, less work. Okay. So that's very, very convenient was for them, and it's still now for many people, right? Even though they say about creation, they like the story of creation, this and that, and that's where they stop, right? They say Hashem is Hashem abandoned it, and meaning it's all up to us to control the laws of nature and who is going to win. We have now elections, who is going to win election, lose election, all these things, right? Very interesting. Okay, control nature. Right, so meaning, right, so they say he created the world, but abandoned the control nature. So just a personal story. I went to the store, to the butcher store today, and there were a couple, I'm not sure how observant they are. I don't know. And they were talking to this guy about elections. About election, they say it needs to vote, and I like too much. Even though I was listening to a class, but again, you cannot make it too loud. You're going to go deaf. Like it was loud enough, but still I could hear them. And I wanted to say, I didn't know what to spend too much time in the store. But I want to say, why do you buy kosher meat? Like, what if you believe that result of what is going to be with you depends on who is going to win or not win election? That's your pecoris. Like, right? Hashem is running the world. Even though bad guy or good guy is going to win, doesn't matter. Right? Hashem is still running the world. Right? So, but if you think that he abandoned the world, yes, now we have to need a good candidate. So if this candidate good for Jews, whatever it means, for which Jews he is good, I don't know, right? Or somebody is bad for Jews, bad for Israel, good for Israel, all of these things, right? So meaning that person is complete apikoris. So meaning he said or she said, that if we're going to have good candidates, so we're good, we're saved, right? If we have a bad candidate in their mind, so we're doomed, right? So completely crossing Hashem from the picture. Right? That's how I see it. The people do not even realize what they're saying. Okay. No problem. By sharing the so laws of nature, by stating the entire earth, right, the Rambam implies the divine providence control every facet of the worldly existence, right? As we're going to learn, I think it's in this book as well, right? About angels, that Hashem assigned each separate angel to each what is a piece of grass, right? That hit the grass and say, grow grass. It's from the prophets. Understand? So meaning, if Hashem supervises every what is stroke of whatever the word is, so a piece of grass and leaf on a tree, for sure He supervises what is going to happen to Jews or not happen. Okay, and it's not up to election or somebody to override His will. Okay, so continue. It was number 14. So again, the whole sentence. The entire the entity is God of the world and the Lord of the entire earth. Okay, so that's we just clarified. He controls the sphere. Okay, we're going to see what sphere with infinite unbound power. What sphere? 15. This refers to the ninth sphere, which encompasses all the others and causes them to revolve. See chapter 3, halacha 1. Refer to that chapter for the description of the spheres and their functions. Okay, we're not spheres. I mean, we're not going to go to the spheres right now, but it's in chapter 3 and chapter 1. Okay, but again, the whole sentence, He controls the sphere with the infinite and unbound power. So meaning everything in His control. This power continues without interruption because the sphere is constantly revolving. Right, so so that's a simple question to the atheist, right? So I say, why alive? Oh, because my heart is beating, right? Why your heart is beating? Because I eat, because right, and they start explaining to you like you three and a half year old child that food being broken down by the system, and then but what make the heart beat? So meaning, but why if you give this dead person, if somebody dies and you give them the best organic food, is person going to get a life, right? It's if it's only about food, right? So it's very interesting. Now they don't have an answer. Okay, so meaning right, and why what makes the world spin, right? So only, as we know, only Hashem, and its precise speed. I'm not sure if we're going to learn about it in this book. I'm not sure, right? But it's precise speed, as we know from science. Okay, so continue. This power continues without interruption because the sphere is constantly revolving, and it is impossible for it to revolve without being caused to revolve. So meaning, if you throw the ball up in the air, right, it's going to go fast, slower, and then slow down and start falling. And the same is everything. So unless you push, right, something, or you apply some power, some movement, force, it's going to stop moving. So what makes the sphere continue moving? Right. So meaning without someone, right, push it to revolve, it's going to stop. Number 16. Oh no, actually number 15. One second. No, 16. Sorry. In the Garden of Perplex, Volume 2, Chapter 1 and 2, Rambam elaborates on the idea mentioned briefly in this halacha. He explains that the movement of any entity in the physical world is caused by influence of another entity, which must itself undergo the change to initiate this movement. The source for all physical activity is the movement of the ninth sphere. Okay. The power with which that sphere must be different by its nature from the sphere itself, and that it must transcend material existence. Otherwise, the fact that it causes the sphere to move would be a proof that it is also being moved by a high power. Second continuation. No. Okay. So let's try to understand what it says here. So let's see from the beginning. Guide of the Perplex. I would not recommend to learn Guide of the Perplex. If we learn this commentary, it is okay, right? There is no problem. But the book itself, in the many times, it's going to contradict some other beliefs. Let's put it this way, right? It's going to say almost exactly opposite, because it's explained on the different level for different kind of people. Okay. So again, from Guide of Perplex, Rambam elaborates on this idea mentioned briefly in this halacha, meaning that you need some power to push something else. He explained that the movement of any entity in the physical world is caused by influence of another entity, right? So you have a car, you need an agent, right? And you need gas, so you need one entity goes into another entity, it's the gas burns and the car starts driving, which must itself undergo change, right, from one to another to initiate this movement. Okay, so I think car is an example that we all can understand. Right, so burning of the fuel. The source of all physical activity is the movement of the ninth sphere. So meaning because of ninth sphere, everything else is moving, right? But the obvious question is, what power moves the ninth sphere? Okay. The power that moves that sphere, meaning nine, must be different, right? By its very nature. So meaning, right? So one entity needs to be influenced by another entity in order to move. Right, and all of these entities, they move only because due to the movement of the ninth sphere. So now we're going to go a level above and see what needs to give move this ninth sphere. Right. So quickly again, the power with which moves the sphere must be different. That sphere meaning ninth sphere. So again, we just for now, I think if we just get on our mind that is the most important one, that's enough for now. Later on, I think we're going to go in details, as he said, chapter 3. Different by its very nature from its sphere itself, and it must transcend material existence. Right? Okay. So this sphere must transcend the physical existence. So, but all other things in this world, as we know, they're physical. Otherwise, the fact that it causes the sphere to move would be a proof that it's also moved by a higher power. Okay. So continue. It is He, right? So high power. Who is high power? It is He, blessed be He, who causes it to revolve, right, without the hand or any other corporeal dimension. So all other things need to get moving, right, by something, by something physical, right? So one power transfers to another, but and all of them controlled by ninth sphere. And who is the moving ninth sphere? Hashem. But this movement is different from all previous. How? Because it is done on spiritual level, right? But all others on a physical level, of physical contact. Okay. Well, even magnetic fields, right? Still, there is you need magnet, you need electricity, you need a lot of things. So it's all still physical. Okay, so commentary 17. Rambam discusses the negation of any anthropomorphic aspect of the God, right? So meaning Hashem does not have any physicality. Okay, so I think it's a perfect stop. I did not plan it, but it's exactly 7 p.m. Okay.